Geeky Ohana! What's this video? It's for Block 4 of the Wheel of Time. Well, it's about what we knew about Block 4 before 2020 reared its ugly head and caused production to shut down. I'm going to be cheating just a little bit by including some information about the cast that we learned before and after production restarted on September 7, 2020. Just a reminder, there are potential spoilers ahead for both the show and the book, so if you don't want to be spoiled, click away now. As always, special thanks to Narg and my fellow sleuths at watchseries.com for always keeping a watchful eye out for news and tidbits on the show. Okay, so Block 4. What do we know about it pre-shutdown? First of all, we know that it consists of episodes 7 and 8, the final 2 episodes of what we hope is just the first season of The Wheel of Time. The director is Kieran Donnelly, an Irish director who has a lot of experience with international television shows. Recent works include Harley and the Davidsons, Krypton, Vikings, Altered Carbon, and Professionals. David Luther returns as the director of photography. You may recall that he worked with Wayne Yip on episodes 3 and 4. We don't know either of the titles for episodes 7 and 8. A table read did take place on March 2nd, but the production shut down before Block 4 could start on the week of March 16th. According to documents, filming was scheduled to end on May 29th. Moving on to the cast. Thanks to recent social media posts, we know that the following actors are involved in the filming of Block 4. Yosha Stradowski, Marcus Rutherford, Barney Harris, Zoe Robbins, Madeline Madden, Rosamund Pike, Daniel Henney, Hamid Animashan, Kaya Alexander, Kate Fleetwood, Kira Chansa, Sandra Yi Sensendiver, Thomas Channing, and Amar Chada Patel. For more information about Sandra, Thomas, and Amar, check out my article on watchseries.com. I've included a link in the description below. Moving on to the actors that we can guess might be involved with Block 4. The first is Sophie Okonedo. I've included her because if there's some kind of scene with a young Swan, I'm guessing that they would probably also include scenes with Swan as an adult. The second actor is Michael D. Cruz. He had on his Spotlight CV that he was waiting to film the role of Zahir in The Wheel of Time in Prague. While it's not conclusive, the phrasing of the statement suggests that he was waiting for production to restart again so he could film. We know that Priyanka Bose wrapped during Block 3, so she will not be filming for Block 4. Similarly, we know from an interview with Alvaro Morte that he finished up with The Wheel of Time prior to shutdown as well. Thanks to Narg for finding the article. I've included a link to it in the description below. Moving on to locations. We don't really know anything. We do know of locations they used after filming restarted, but we don't know if these were the places they had always planned to film at, or if plans needed to be changed due to the production schedule changing. I do want to note that according to articles, Croatia was planned as a filming location for The Wheel of Time. We don't know when this filming was scheduled for. It's possible it was completed secretly already. It could also be possible that they scheduled filming in Croatia for Block 4. Moving on to the timeline. First, let's look at weeks 1 through 3. We know that Kate Fleetwood was scheduled to start rehearsals on a musical production of 101 Dalmatians at the end of the month, specifically the 30th of March according to this tweet from Kate. So that means that any filming for her would need to have been done during the first 2 weeks of Block 4. Moving on, we have our first extras casting call for this block. Well, we have 2, but for reasons I'll explain in a bit, I think they're both for the same role. On March 3rd, the agency that provides extras for The Wheel of Time posted this call for twins, ideally girls around the age of 10 to 14 months. Then, about 14 hours later, on March 4th, this casting call went out for a girl or twins of a darker complexion around the age of 10 to 14 months. So why put up 2 similar casting calls so close to each other? If we examine the details, we can deduce that these are both probably for the same role. The age range is the same, as are the shooting days. One difference is the first casting call asked for twins, while the second asked for either a girl or twins. Also, the second specified that they were looking for darker types. My guess is that after posting the first casting call, they realized they needed to both specify a physical characteristic that they needed, while also opening up the role to single babies in addition to twins. Twins are ideal in filming because one twin can work while the other rests. But considering that they're working with a specific physical description in mind, they probably wanted to increase the chance of finding a baby that they could use for the show. So, while I'm noting that a 10 to 14-month-old dark girl or twin babies were planned for March 23rd, 24th, and 25th, keep in mind that the role is probably a single child. Speaking of children, another casting call went out looking for Asian children around 6 to 7 years old. These children were needed for April 2nd. Moving on to weeks 4 through 6, we've got another casting call for babies, this time twins 3 to 7 months old with dark skin. Let's take a look at a different translation. According to Google Translate, this baby will represent the daughter of the main character. The second baby is a backup. They also don't mind if the babies are boys, which makes sense because honestly at that age, babies look like babies. This baby was scheduled to film on April 8th. And that's really all the details we know about the originally planned filming for Block 4. It was scheduled for 11 weeks through May 29th, which would have made it the longest out of any of the production blocks we've seen so far. So I was planning on making a video of things I missed in my Blocks 1 through 3 videos, but that will have to come later because, honestly, I was having a hard time remembering what it was I forgot. Instead, let's move on to speculation. What in the world could all these babies mean? Let's take a look at this particular casting call first. Our 3 to 7 month old darker skinned baby that's the daughter of the main character. So let's consider which main character they're referring to as the parent of this child. I got 4 possible scenarios for you. Rand with Egwene, Nynaeve with Lan, Egwene with Rand, and Perrin with Layla. If they're referring to the literal main character, then that would be Rand, and the likely mother in this case would be Egwene. Perhaps the baby is part of a dream? Or maybe in a vision used to entice him during a battle at the end of the season. Another possibility is that the baby is one that Nynaeve sees in her accepted test. Her test doesn't happen until chapter 23 of The Great Hunt, nearly halfway through the book, so this would require some major moving around of plot lines to make it work. But this one is my personal favorite theory. A third option is basically the same as the first, but this time the emphasis is on Egwene. Could she see a dream of a possible baby she'll never have with Rand? Or it could be something she sees in her own accepted tests. Her testing doesn't happen until the Dragon Reborn in the book, so I think this is less likely to happen. Finally, a fourth option I've seen suggested is that the baby is that of Perrin and Layla, perhaps in a dream? Anyway, that's the younger baby. But are the 2 babies the same character? Because they're both described as dark-skinned girls, I'm going to guess yes. But I had to ask myself, why have a 3 to 7 month old baby? They're not specifying that the child has to meet any developmental milestone criteria, so it must be purely based on appearance. What's special about a 3 to 7 month old baby versus one that's 10 to 14 months? Well, one thought I had was that they might need a baby to stand in for a newborn. If you've ever seen an actual newborn, you know they never use real newborns for TV or film, and for good reason. Instead, they usually use a baby that's older. The rules and restrictions for baby actors are different depending on where you are, so while babies as young as 15 days can work in California, that may not be the case somewhere else. Finally, let's talk about the 6 to 8-year-old Asian children for a bit. This seems to indicate some sort of Borderlands scene, since they seem to be making Borderlanders have a primarily Asian look to them. Now, this could be a flashback to Malkier, or it could be for a scene in Faldara. There's really no way of telling based off of the information we know, but it's always fun to speculate. So that's it for Block 4, pre-shutdown. I do plan on putting together a similar video once filming for the first season is done, but the cast and crew have been a lot more tight-lipped since returning to production. Also, people seem interested in videos breaking down where actors were in relation to the filming schedule for the Wheel of Time. so I'm planning on creating videos for Kaya Alexander, Alexandre Willam, and maybe other cast members as well. Finally, there's that video about the things that I forgot. Once I remember what it was I forgot. To get notifications when my next video is released, follow me on Twitter or subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. Also, don't forget to check out watchseries.com for show-related news and information. Thanks for watching!